Welcome, race fans, and even you non-race fans. Damian Mason coming at you in my Indianapolis Motor Speedway apparel to share with you a lesson from the owner of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one Roger Penske. You don't have to be a race fan. You don't even have to be in business for yourself to appreciate this lesson because it's about communication. Roger Penske this morning sent me a letter. He sent it to everybody that's affiliated with the Indianapolis 500 and also put it out through media outlets. And this letter right here has so much for us to learn about how to communicate, especially when the news is not necessarily good with those that we serve and those who our businesses rely on. Okay, I'm a big race fan. I'm from the state of Indiana. The Indianapolis 500 is the best event we put on. Hundreds of thousands of people gather for the biggest single-day sporting event, and it's usually held on Memorial Weekend. I've been to every Indy 500 since 1992 with the exception of one. I love the Indianapolis 500. I know what all of these flags mean when the flag man throws them. I have a little race car that I keep on my desk. It looks just like that. Isn't that cool? You don't have to be a race fan to appreciate this lesson because the race was postponed and we were going to then have half capacity. Then it was 25% capacity, and a couple of weeks ago the announcement was made there would be no race fans at all at the track. So this is very, very sad for many of us who love the Indianapolis 500. It is history. It is nostalgia. It is all those things that a great event like the Kentucky Derby or the Masters have going for them. This letter is personal, it's inclusive, it's emotional, it's apologetic, it's hopeful, and also it paints a picture of the future that everyone can buy into. And if you can do that with your communications, you will be a winner. Maybe not as successful as Roger Penske, but you will be a winner nonetheless. He opens by saying, "Dear race fans, I will miss you on Sunday." Then he goes on to talk about his love for the Indianapolis 500, but also he talks about those that are affected, the families who earn their livings, the people who depend on this great event that the city of Indianapolis and the state of Indiana put on. Roger Penske does not make this letter about himself and his own pain. He just purchased this facility. He's investing hundreds of millions of dollars into improvements. He does not talk about the pain, does not talk about the financial losses, does not talk about his own business struggles as the coronavirus has made it so that he can have fans there. He talks about the common people and delivers a common touch and makes it about them. When he does talk about himself, he talks about his involvement with the Motor Speedway. My family and I purchased the Speedway and IndyCar for the long term, and as much as I wanted to open our gates, he talks about even at 25%, it was not going to be safe, and he wants to protect the greatest spectacle in racing for the long term. You see, when he does that, he talks about something that's so near and dear to people like me and the hundreds of thousands of people that go there and the millions that tune in every Memorial Day, and he talks about the future. He goes on to then highlight some of the improvements and paints a picture for next year with all the new improvements that have been made to the facility and how much more enjoyable it'll be for us, the fans. You see, he makes it about the customers. He makes it about those who he serves. You know, Roger didn't have to pen this. Roger's worth $1.7 billion by my research. He's an 83-year-old, very successful man. He did this because he cared about what his business does, and he knows that he serves others. Even at his vast amount of success, he understands that he works for other people's money and serves other customers. And so do you, and so do I. We all work for other people's money. Mr. Penske is successful. Mr. Penske, in this communication, did he have help with it? Possibly, but it's so brilliantly done because it also then closes out with a personal touch about him and his trip to the Speedway for the first time as a 14-year-old boy with his father, and how he sat in a car and put on a helmet, and who won that year in 1951. And then he says, "This is why I care so much about the Speedway and IndyCar racing. It's why the fan experience will always be my top priority. Thank you for understanding, and I look forward to seeing you next May. And drivers, start your engines." Personal, emotional, almost brought a tear to your eye, and also understanding, while also giving hope. If you can do all those things, show some emotion, be personal, care about those you serve, don't make it about yourself, and then also have the historic tie-in and paint the picture of what the future can be working together. Damian Mason with a great business lesson and life lesson about communication from Roger Penske. I'll be tuning in on Sunday. It'll make me very sad that I'm not going to be there for the first time since 1992. I will not be in the stands watching those cars go around. But you know what? I appreciate this lesson. I hope you do too. Happy racing.